Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this show anywhere else but within our private community, be sure to come join us. The name of our community is called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle. So we definitely love to have you if you're a coach, consultant, or service provider who wants to be surrounded by some really awesome other coaches and consultants. Now, with that being said, I want to introduce you to one of the members of our community, Olga. Welcome, Olga.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin.
Awesome. You're welcome. So tell us, what is it that you do?
I help corporate managers succeed in their careers, change their jobs, get better terms, develop their careers, develop the positions, change functions, change positions, companies, countries sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. How long have you been doing this type of work?
10 years.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And now what got you started? What got you started in it?
Well, the one very good reason was that I had my successful career. And usually, if I believe that if you want to teach something, you have to succeed in it yourself. So I was thinking about my coaching career, and I was coaching niche. And I asked myself, okay, what is the one thing that I know the best and I'm very sure about? And I said, okay, that's how to get the best job and how to make the great career. Because previously to that, I had my 15 years of corporate career, and I worked for companies like General Electric and Boston Consulting Group.
Mm-hmm.
And so I considered my career quite successful and internationally good. So that's why I feel quite credible and legitimate to help others.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Now, what's your backstory? What did you do before you got into coaching?
Well, as I told you that I had 15 years of my corporate career,
Mm-hmm.
I started to work very early. I was quite ambitious young lady. And when I was 20 something, I was dreaming about becoming the CEO of a large American corporation, something like Hewlett Packard. I don't know why I had Hewlett Packard in mind, but that was my ultimate ambition. So I was like going to my career like step by step. And first I did my master's in finance.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started to work in finance, and I changed quite quickly to marketing because that was more fun. Marketing strategy. And then I changed to HR. And I also did my MBA in France. And that's how I was. I changed a few countries. I'm originally Russian. I worked in Finland, in Germany, in France, and some time I spent in UK and US. So that's the previous that's the background of my story. And after 15 years in the office in the corporate world, I thought, okay, now it's the time to do something different. So I stepped out. I finished my perfect HR job in Boston Consulting Group, which everybody was saying, okay, you're crazy to leave like that. But I said, I want to try. And that was 10 years ago in 2010. So I'm still independent. I'm still free. And I enjoy what I do.
Yeah, love it, love it. So did you get to a point where, because I know I've done quite a few interviews, and I realize most individuals, they get to a point where what they're doing for work is just not what fulfills them, right? And they find a way, they realize they just have to get in a role where they could just contribute more. So is that what happened for you as well too? Did you, while you were working your previous jobs, did you feel like unfulfilled? Like how did it happen for you to where you just said, you know what? I know I have this great job, I'm successful, whatever, but I'm going to leave this behind and go do something else.
Well, that's, I started to have my own entrepreneurial projects when I was still in corporate world. And that was like, like the signs. I was walking the street and I was thinking, okay, should I get my shop? Should I become entrepreneur? Should I make my own business in the food industry? And these were the dreams, the ideas and dreams, and they were coming more and more. And I still continued to work in the corporate world for next few years because, it's not that easy to change. It's not that easy to say, okay, now I will be a different person. I will do something very different. I know it's pretty hard. And then I had my family. I had 2 children. So I was not very, very flexible to change. But then at some point, I think one of, like, I had many triggers, and one of the, I think, biggest triggers was that I changed my network, changed my community. I went to some trainings, and they were like personal development trainings, and I met some people who were like, they were very inspiring, and they showed me how it feels to be inspired, to inspire others, to coach others, to help others transform their lives. And I was looking at them and I said, okay, that's what I want to do for my life. That's what I want to do. So I started to take some coaching courses. I went to have some diplomas, certificates, like learning and learning and learning. I also was doing some my business projects. I had business projects, again, in food industry. I tried to do my own restaurants. I did my travel agency. I did my recruiting agency. But at the same time, since 10 years, I was always like coaching people, consulting people, mentoring people. And little by little, that I just saw that this is like the red line, the red dotted line, which leads me, which makes my heart beat, which makes me inspired. So then I stopped my other entrepreneurial projects. I don't tell that I stop it them forever. Maybe it comes one day. But since the last 5 years, I focus myself entirely on developing my coaching and consulting practice. And it's going into, it used to be offline. Now it's more online since few years. And I don't know, luckily or not luckily, like this year will be only online. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, awesome. So you say, you were already online for a couple of years. So COVID-19 wasn't what kind of pushed you online, right? You were already online.
I started my online program, which is called Top Career, 2 years ago, exactly 2 years ago, because I moved. I used to live in different places, first in Paris, then I moved to Moscow. Mm-hmm. And in Moscow, I had quite many clients because coming to me by referrals very naturally. I used to work one-on-one, meeting them in person, because I like to sit together with people and work with them. I used to go to many big events to speak up, to moderate different events. So I never was thinking about really building a funnel of the clients, of doing some advertising or how the clients should come to me. And then 2 years ago, I moved to Nice, where I'm now, which is the south of France. It's a small town in the south of France. And suddenly I had to ask myself this big question. So should I really move to online and stay online only? And then I built my program, which is the high ticket program, Top Career. I built my funnel. And since 2 years, I would say like I'm working 95% online only.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Sounds exciting.
Well, it's I'm missing a little bit the real, like sitting together with people and working with them. Mm-hmm. But I think that's our new reality. Mm-hmm. I don't know what will happen next year. Maybe we'll be allowed to travel, because I had some of my clients taking the flight and flying to see me in Nice. They were flying from Moscow, from London, from Paris, like from different destinations. But right now it's just unfortunately not the case. So like right now it's online only.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but you are looking forward to the day when we can get back into traveling and doing traveling and all these things again, right?
Yeah, I want to develop my business more in like I will keep the online part, and then I will have probably some personal meetings with the clients, because I need them. Mm-hmm. I'm quite extroverted, so I need them. Probably they will also take advantage of that. And also I plan to have some real events, like bringing together people for the trainings. I'm calling this like the real trainings, and 10 persons, 15 persons, like maybe more. And I had this in plans, and I had some nice plans, like putting them on a sailing boats, and for 1 week or 2 weeks doing the live trainings for them, like for team building, for leadership coaching. So that's something like a fun and coaching.
Awesome. Are these going to be clients from all over the world as well too? Yeah.
Well, France and Mediterranean is my favorite part. I have some partners who are organizing like sailing events all around the world. So we might be partnering, but I think like my main activities will be here in France and in south of France. So it's France, Italy, around Mediterranean, because it's beautiful, like beautiful places. There are so many things to see and so many things to experience here.
Yeah. So out of all the countries you've been to, which is your favorite? I take it is south of France your favorite?
Yeah.
Hands down.
That was the right guess.
Yeah. I think you're the second guest I've talked to who lives in the south of France, and when they talk about it, they speak about it in a sense of, that's where I live. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life here. Yeah.
Well, but like there are, I wouldn't stay here for forever. Like it's the base, it's the home. But then there are like really, really nice places, and I used to fly every month to New York and Miami and States. So these are also nice places. They have different energy, different people, but I have a big coaching community of my friends in New York. So that's as soon as I can travel, probably I will go to New York and spend probably something like 4 months there.
Yeah. So how did you end up building your network? Because it sounds like you're a pretty connected person as well too. How did you end up building your network?
Well, that's a very good question. Because the network and networking is one of the key elements of my coaching system. Or how do people get into great careers? How do they succeed in their careers? How do they get the next jobs? And more contacts in career and business. That's through networking. And that's a good question. I'm naturally kind of a good networker. I am very curious. I love to meet new people. And if I can give one good advice, I don't know, like to people who are watching us, that will be to join communities. That just the check different communities and choose the communities that have the same values, or they have similar people. For example, I have at least, I don't know, like probably like I'm a member of 10 communities, maybe more. One of them is few of them, they are graduates of some schools, because I have my MBA. So I'm a member of the graduate community of HEC school, which is the business school in France, one of the main business schools. Another one is like I used to work for BCG. BCG is a strategic consulting company. So once you work for BCG, you stay forever in the alumni club. So these are alumni communities. And I'm sure that the people who are there, they are very similar to me. I can always reach out, I can meet them. Then there are some interests, my passion, so my interests. One of my interests and a passion is the gastronomy. So I'm a member of the big community, which is the Gastronomy Association, with a French name. It's called La Chaîne de Rôtisseurs. It exists everywhere in the world, 25,000 members. And there are people who are passionate about restaurants, about food, about like big chefs in a like Michelin restaurants. And that's how I meet. They have special events, so I meet different people through all these networks. And then I also I wouldn't tell you all the names of the networks, but at least there would be 10.
And are those when you say communities, are they online, like groups, Facebook groups? How are these communities? How do they organize?
They are mainly they are real groups. They're not like the people. They have real events. At least they used to have, like when in the previous life. But they also have online pages, online platforms, online communities. For example, one of them, the alumni club of HEC, which is the business school. I wouldn't tell you how many thousands of members are there, but there are many thousands. They live and they work everywhere in the world. like in Russia, in France, in States, in Mexico, like whatever. And they have different events. Every chapter have different events. So I can either go to their events. They will be like business breakfasts. They will be different conferences. They could be the meetings with the speakers, or they would be just after, like the after work networking meeting when people have just meet and have some drinks. And on top of that, there is a big like all the names, they are listed on the website. So if I need to search for a company or for some function, or I don't know, if I have any specific need, I need to find, for example, somebody who is working in Brazil in a restaurant industry, because I don't know, like maybe I have a client who is moving to Brazil and who wants to open a restaurant. Mm-hmm. So I will find the alumni guys from Brazil and the restaurant industry. I can reach out to them and I can ask them some questions, and they will talk to me and they will help me, because we are all like the members of one community, like alma mater, like one business school, and then we always help each other. Mm-hmm. That's how it works.
That's pretty cool. What's the top business school? Like, there's a top business school in France, right?
Yeah.
What's that top business school? What's the name?
It's called HEC. Well, I wouldn't say it in French. Like, it's got Haute Études Commerciales, or the High Commercial Studies. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think one of my clients, he actually works at that. He's a professor at that school. I think the two of you should definitely connect as well, because I think there might be a lot of.
Yeah, well, it's number one school in France, and even the president, like previous president of France, François Hollande, he was the alumni of that school. Mm-hmm. So you see, that's a good level.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. And that's, so how do you, would you say, so you're saying with your success, with what you've built for yourself here, networking has played a key aspect of it, right? Like learning how to network.
Yeah. I believe usually that, like in Russia, we have a saying, I don't know if you have that in States. We say, it's better to have 100 friends than 100 rubles. Well, in your case, it will be dollars. Mm-hmm. So, because if you have 100 friends, they can always help you, or they can help you with business, with career, with everything. And if you have $100, you only have $100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how do you manage the relationships then? Are you like strategic? Like, do you have like, are you like strategically reaching out to different types of people? How do you manage relationships?
I don't have, I don't have any specific plan to reach mm-hmm. out to people. I manage them through social networks. Mm-hmm. That would be Facebook, that would be LinkedIn. I have my Instagram, but I don't really develop it. Mm-hmm. That's Facebook and LinkedIn, that should be enough. I have some other plans to develop more on the social networks, but then, like, I have to be more visible, but this will be rather the business plans. Mm-hmm. But there are different circles of friends, and sometimes I connect them with each other, because the network is not only about developing the new connections, but it's also about helping people get connected. Sometimes I connect people, on personal level, and there are some couples that already exist. And sometimes I connect them on professionally, like they could be business partners, or there could be some people who might work one for another, because I usually like quite good in seeing people, what are their specifics, what are their types. And I can see, okay, these two people can work together pretty well, and they have similar needs and they match. So it's a bit like, like when you have a big community, you can do some matchmaking. Mm-hmm. and that's also fun. And then it's a lot about giving. I give people information, I give the advices, like free advices. If I can help with something, I usually give for free. It's like a garden. When you have a garden, you have the flowers, or you have some trees there, so you have to give them some water, give them some good, like put some good stuff in the soil, so they grow. And every time, like you put something, you don't expect immediately some result back, but then you just invest, and then one day you have a beautiful tree with apple trees, or I don't know, like cherry trees or something like that.
Yeah, that is so powerful. I love that. I love that, because I know there's a lot of individuals in the community. The biggest thing is like, how do I get clients? How do I progress? And a lot of them, they're in fields like what you do, which is they want the corporate clients, they want the individuals who are the C-level executives, all these different things. Um, and for the life of them, they can't figure it out, right? And I find a big mistake I see most individuals who do want those types of clients make is they go from a place of let me go ahead and create automation, let me go ahead and create like email lists and all these different things. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but I realize in your type of setting, the best is being able to, as you said, penetrate directly into these communities, to where if you want to meet someone, you could reach out to a friend or reach out to someone else. Say, can you introduce me to this person, or do you know that person? Can you make the introduction? I believe that way you just mentioned, Harris, it's really, really powerful.
Well, Justin, to be honest, that doesn't make every person you meet your client,
Mm-hmm.
Because we meet different people, and different people have different needs.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we are selling our services to everybody we meet.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you sell something, you don't go on the street, you don't sell it to everybody you see on the street.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's each person is quite different. For example, I'm quite extroverted, so I like different networks. I like to meet different people. And as I said, after 2 years of working online, I'm a bit bored of online only. Mm-hmm. And I would really prefer, to sit next to you and to talk with you in live, not with a Zoom. But then it's also true that what I did with my funnel. So I created the profile of the person that I want to work with. I put targeted ads on the Facebook. I put my webinar there, where I tell about myself, where I tell about my services, and where I give some useful information to people. And then in the end of this webinar, I said, okay, if you want more, if you want to talk, please come and we talk. So people are watching this webinar, they're coming to see me, we discuss, and some of them become my clients. So that's the system.
Yeah, love it. And in terms of your ideal clients, who would you say is an ideal client for you?
That's a very good question, because it's a bit in the progress.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my ideal clients would be somebody like 40-45 years, somebody who is already quite successful in a career, like a C-level. It could be a CFO, it could be CEO, maybe CEO of a smaller company, and somebody who wants to have like a second career,
Mm-hmm.
who wants really a different change. For example, like a CFO, like a chief financial director, who would come and say, okay, I'm 45, I'm already chief financial director, and I want to see where I can grow next. I want to grow in my career, but in finance, I'm stuck, because that's my ceiling. There is no other position which is higher than CFO, like vice president finance or something. So we'll sit and we'll decide, and we'll discuss what could be the next move for this person, because he or she will have another 10, 15, 20 years of the career, and what area he will develop in it. Very often, for example, financial directors, they go into general management. It's not easy, because if you used to be financial director and now you will be general manager, that's a career shift. That's a functional shift. It requires some development of professional skills, but of course more personal skills. It requires some mindset shift. You have to start to think differently. You need some other packaging than a financial director. So that's all very, very realistic. So I think my ideal clients would be those who are seeking for the changes, not just the ones who want, I want double my salary. Okay, that's also that's a challenge. That's ambition, but it's not a big shift, a big change, because usually people can have higher salaries, but their life and their careers they stay pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm. Love it, love it. So a couple of questions before we end here. What
Yeah.
about what skills would you say you've mastered over the years that's really gotten you to your level of success today?
Well, I think one of the skills is to ask the right questions, even if they are uncomfortable questions, even if I risk to upset the clients or make them uncomfortable, but the really mastering these strong questions, like asking, okay, so what is your real points behind all everything that you say? What is your real dream that you are dreaming about, and not just the socially acceptable version of it? So like this kind of strong questions, and putting them something like on a hot seat. Sometimes you need to put the client on a hot seat, make them really uncomfortable, so they would start to analyze deeper and to go deeper into themselves to search for the answers. Mm-hmm. So this will be one skill. I think another skill is well, it's probably funny, but it's the skill of silence. Sometimes the coaches, they have to keep the silence, and sometimes it's even more powerful than talking and talking. And I like to talk, as you see. I like to be interviewed. I like to talk. So right now I can do that. But if you would be a client, you would be talking 80%, 90% of the time. I will try my best to keep the silence.
Mm-hmm. Love it, love it. And what about habits, right? What's one habit you say you've developed that's gotten you to your level of success today?
One habit?
Yeah.
Well, one of the latest habits I developed, and it helped me very, I can say two, like the most recent ones that I'm working on now. Mm-hmm. Well, usually my list of to-do items every day had 30 points, 30. Mm-hmm. Now I learned to have only 3. So mm-hmm. I'd say only 3, stop. And the second thing is, and that's what I'm doing now, I'm developing it, is delegate everything I can delegate, because I have hundreds of the smaller tasks. And I think sometimes I think, okay, it's easier to do myself than to explain to somebody else that it should be done. Then I have to control people, then I have to explain them, and it's too much of the noise. I will do everything myself. Mm-hmm. But the big problem that if I want to grow, if I want to develop my business, I need to delegate, and I need to hire the team. So right now I'm looking for my virtual assistant. I'm looking for a marketing assistant, and that's in 2-3 months I should build myself a team. Mm-hmm. I think of 3, 4, 5 persons.
Okay, and those are people you're actually looking for today, virtual assistants, marketing assistants, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So hey, if anyone was watching this interview, there you go, an opportunity to a good fit.
Yeah.
Awesome, love it, Olga. Well, hey, we're running short on time here, but if someone wanted to reach out, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Well, it could be through Facebook Messenger. Mm-hmm. I have a difficult name, but then you can see my photo, and maybe the email, but you should have my email.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. What about website? Do you have a website?
I have the web. I have few websites. I'm changing them. One is jobstrategy.ru, mm-hmm. which is for Russia. Another one, lavrino.com. But I think they will be pretty changed. But I think that the best way is the social networks. That's the most easy thing.
Awesome, perfect. And guys, if you're watching this on the live or on the replay, I'll have the links to connect right with Olga right either above or below this video. So if you want to connect, just go ahead and reach out to her. Perfect, Olga. Well, hey, thank you so much for making the time to be here today. Do you have any final thoughts before we end?
Well, thank you, Justin, for inviting me. And as I understand, like people who will watch, who are or will be watching, this will be the people who are building their coaching businesses, right?
Right.
And the high ticket businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And well, they can definitely reach out to me and ask different questions, and I can just tell that it's not a one day win. Like in one day you don't make it, in 1 week you don't make it. It will take you probably 6 months. It can take you like 1 year, but you have to be consistent, and you have to develop step by step. And quite often you have just to change some mindset shifts, and also think about your assistants and your team, because these are the leverages for bigger results. These will be people, this will be internet, that's why we go online. This will be money, that's how we pay for advertising and that's also leveraging our business. And this will be everything about automated processes, you know, like different automation, like chatbots, all these online things, smaller things that exist. And I think they will develop more and more, so just use them as a leverage, and then your business will scale up.
Awesome, Olga. Well, hey, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making the time, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, Justin.